Margaret Clerkin, thank you for coming to join us. We're going to talk about the future of digital advertising. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk.
So we've known each other for a long time. The world has changed pretty significantly in that time.
It certainly has.
Some things that we've always wrestled with, like brand safety and suitability, and some new things that are a bit more recent, like Gen AI. So let's just cover a few of those and let's chat about what it means for the industry.
Sure.
So let's start out with Cannes this year. You couldn't do any talk without people pretending to be a Gen AI expert. It's nice to actually talk to people who actually use it and work in it. So let's start there. How is Gen AI going to be used to help us in terms of driving some things we need to drive both performance that's also good for people and planet?
So Gen AI is really it's going to make a big difference, but it has to be used in the right, responsible hands. And so if it's not, you're going to get a lot of hallucinations, a lot of biases. Our creative copyrights are going to be infringed upon. And those are the things that we have to watch out for. But we can't be fearful of those things. We need to embrace Gen AI because you and I have been process management gurus for years, and really, mastering what your process is and how your business works and how to do your business is the beginning of you applying AI, to your business to make improvements. And it can be everything from document processing, content, target audiences, and a lot of data intelligence mining.
The thing I'd take out of that, which I think is the truism, you got to draw it before you can brief it and you can program it.
You are right.
And
if you
I
can't
think some
see
people,
it,
if you can't see it, you can't draw it, you can't brief it into a programmer.
Correct.
So what do people know enough about the detail of how things work, or have we still got lots of people flying by the seat of their pants out there?
I think people are learning as they go. So, flying the plane and learning how to fly it at the same time. And, the faster you do that, the faster that we'll get to the productivity efficiencies that it offers us.
Do you think that's the first area, is productivity versus transformation? Is that the low-hanging fruit of Gen AI?
Well, transformation, you have to do your business transformation in order to apply Gen AI, right? So you've got to do your homework first in order to be able to apply it and get those productivity gains. And then, there's targeting, creative development, all of those things can be done much more efficiently. For how many years have we been putting out, the single ad or two ads to all of our target audiences? Now I can customize it to everybody and do that overnight, which is great.
All those years of talking about DCO and dynamic copy optimization.
Finally,
you can do it.
It can be in your hands.
But connect that with the DSP, SSP, so you're actually serving up the right ads to the right people at the right time?
Yeah, fancy that.
What a bizarre thought. You'll never catch
We can now deliver it.
But hang on, you said one thing about efficiency improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Does that go against the way that agencies are paid today?
It does. So, there are businesses that will want to apply AI, and then there are businesses that it goes against their business model because...
Just explain that for those who may not be familiar, the
Sure.
FTE loop.
Yeah, so if you're being paid in an FTE model, you don't want to reduce the number of hours it takes you to get a task done.
Because you get paid less money.
Because you get paid less money, exactly.
It seems so counterintuitive. You do smart stuff, you become more efficient, you lose money.
Correct. And
that would suggest that there's some fundamental things need to change within the agency-client contract.
I think that, some of the smarter, more leading-edge agencies have gone to a mixed performance-based and FTE-based model, where they're getting paid more on their performance than just on the FTEs. And so those are the people that'll probably be more open-minded to it from an agency perspective. But you go into any businesses, whether it's, auto, healthcare, telco, they're looking to produce more quicker and more effectively. So they're going to apply it.
Conservative old ad industry is going to be dragging along and shamed by other industries who are doing it and doing faster, quicker, better. Let's bring that in the context of safety and suitability. How does Gen AI work in the challenges we have for safety and suitability? When's it a blessing and when's it a curse?
I think I'll go to the positive side first. You think about the fact that, today they said $10 billion a year, in invalid traffic. Okay,
$10 billion. Let's just remind the
$10
audience.
billion, right? Who's actually recouping that $10 billion? Not every agency is going back to every one of those publishers and saying, you owe me this 80 cents back here, $1.50 over here, $100 there. So they're not recouping that. So there's this wasted media
So you mean
expenditures.
there's $10 billion floating around in like coins down the back of a sofa that nobody collects?
There's some of that 10 billion is coins down the sofa, but AI could help us with that because if you've got your identity document processing going, then you can process those invoices, connect back to the APIs of these different publishers, and seek those credits in a more automated
So
fashion.
reconciler matching.
Right.
Are we ready for it? Seems $10 billion seems a lot of incentive, but
I think
it also it's like hard work and very sort of potentially dull work to be done to make it work.
Right.
Is the appetite there?
I think whenever you say large numbers, the appetite is there. But if is the appetite there by the people who are actually sitting behind the desk, having to collect the coins behind the sofa right now? No, a lot of them are fearful. They're afraid for my job, but what's going to happen next? But the reality is, we need to redefine what our jobs are going to be in the future if we're going to live in a world of AI, and we need to make sure that we have the right moral standards to be able to manage and control AI.
So just to wrap up this, what are some of the watch-outs that you would say to the audience regarding how they're adopting Gen AI these days for safety and suitability?
Yeah, I mean, AI has got to be AI plus HI, human intelligence.
Yep.
You can't, those who are eager and fast to play, just want to have the AI do it, have the AI code for me and not have a real coder look at the code. You can't do that. You have to understand the balance of the value of human intelligence and, apply it in a different way. You and I need to learn, and I've already learned, prompt messaging, and, the way we pose questions is going to be different in the future. But, if you're curious and you're innovative, you embrace that. If you're not, you run from it.
I got to find this interesting. One of the chatbots I was creating, and I won't say which platform I was doing it on, first thing that struck me is to actually download and train it on my data. That data had to be done in open forum, therefore it leaked. So the first thing is you're giving away confidence. There's now the little disclaimer in really small print when you use those models going, information may be used.
Right.
So you got that issue, you've got copyright issues, you've got infringement, you've got confidentiality, you've got, as you say, misrepresentation, you've got hallucination. We talk about the three biases, where the first bias is the bias of the programmer, and you talked about the programmer.
Mm-hmm.
The second bias is the data set, and the third bias is the user. So we've got to think about how to balance those three dimensions.
Right. And the bias of data, AI can actually help you balance, but, the bias of the user is, the same challenge that we have today. We just have to know that it's there. We have to set our guidelines within our companies as to, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and we've got to enforce that.
So I think just to wrap up, Margaret, thank you. And I think the thought for all of us is this idea of there's AI and there's HI.
Yep.
And let's make sure we don't lose the HI when we go headlong into AI. So with that, Margaret Clerkin, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Phil. Good to see you.
Thank you.